If you're on your healing or spiritual journey and aren't sure which tools to use, then you're gonna love today's video because I'm sharing the tools that I have used in my personal healing journey and spiritual journey, as well as the tools that I currently use now. And I'm sharing why those tools worked for me. So I hope that this can help you on your healing journey. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Francisca. I'm the owner of Breathe, Connect, Thrive, a healing studio in Houston, Texas, where I help people release deep emotions through conscious connected breathing, replenish their mind, body, heart, and soul in restorative yoga, and get some clarity through personal discovery tarot readings. I do this both in person and online. If you're someone who's been around for a while, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and supporting me. It means so much to me. So you have your own individual experiences that make you unique. You're one of a kind. There's nobody else like you. And because there's nobody else like you, your healing style will be different than somebody else. Oftentimes I have clients who will come and see me and they may have done breath work or Reiki or tarot, and it's so different when they come and do it with me. That's because when clients see me one-on-one, I'm using a unique framework that is right just for them. I use my intuition to do that. But if you had known me before 2017, my intuition wasn't as on point as it is now. And that's because I have done a lot of things between that time and now to really develop my intuition, to really learn how my intuition speaks to me, and most of all, to trust my intuition. So I'm going to talk about the tools that I have personally used in my healing journey that have really been helpful for me. But I do want to let you know that everybody has their own way of responding or resonating to different healing techniques. My journey started off with me seeing repeating numbers. And numbers like 1111, 333, 222, 111, 444. And I was seeing these everywhere. I was noticing these everywhere. And I feel like Spirit was just being like, hey, pay attention, pay attention. And what I started doing was Googling, like, what does the number 333 mean? What does the number 1111 mean? And that led me to hypnosis. So I would say that one of my first healing tools, Numerology, and then hypnosis, because Numerology was able to kind of like open the path for me. The reason that I'm saying Numerology helped me on my healing journey, it was a really good healing tool, was because when I would look these numbers up, I would find these messages of comfort. And when you're on your healing journey, when you're on your spiritual path, Spirit will speak to us in the way that we can hear it. And I wasn't able to hear anything outside of seeing these numbers. And seeing these numbers, again, led the way to hypnosis. And so then I started doing hypnosis, which I actually thought was meditation. I didn't realize it was hypnosis until way later on. And in using hypnosis, that opened the door to meditation, which opened the door to affirmations. And so I would say Numerology is a really great healing tool. So if you start seeing repeating patterns, I highly recommend just take stock of that. When are you seeing them? Like, what time are you seeing them? What are you doing? What are you feeling when you're seeing them? When I started paying attention to that, I really started realizing that what was happening was I was getting these special messages of comfort. It's going to be okay. Things are going to change. You are supported at all times. You are loved. These are the messages that I was getting that was really encouraging me to keep going, because to be honest with you, back then I was just like, when is the truck gonna hit me? When is my car gonna get run off the road? I wasn't thinking of doing something to myself. It was more like I didn't want to be here, and I didn't think there was a purpose to anything. So that was really helpful for me on my healing journey in Numerology. Again, hypnosis was really helpful for me, and it helped me really start listening to myself a little bit more. So one of the first hypnosis tracks I listened to was called The Attraction Accelerator, and I will never forget it because the words like really went deep down into my soul. And it's like, imagine yourself, 30 days from now, imagine yourself at your best self. What does that look like? Who's around you? Are there people around you? Are they celebrating you? And I remember thinking, no, nobody's there because I haven't done anything. And so something in my heart really asked me to keep going, to keep listening to it. And later on I would listen to it and I'm like, oh, what is it that I really want? Like, who do I really want to be? Like, what is, if I didn't feel so heavy, if I didn't feel so dark, and if I didn't like think that there was a purpose to nothing, what would I want to do? And the first thing that came to mind was that I wanted to help people. I really wanted to help people. Deep down inside, that is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to help people. I've always been a really good listener. I've always been an empath. I've always been highly sensitive. I didn't realize at the time that that was really setting me up to be the type of person who can lead a breathwork session, to be the type of person that can help people in self-discovery tarot readings, to be the kind of person that can help people with energy healing. I didn't know it at the time, but my soul knew it at that time. And so when you listen to these hypnosis or meditation tracks, if something sparks your interest, if something like kind of hits you in the heart or hits you in the soul, really take note of that. You may not be ready for it right then and there, but know that your soul wouldn't have led you to that unless it was right for you. For me, hypnosis led the way to meditation. And so I started listening to different hypnosis by Unlock Your Life from Sarah Drescher, Michael Seeley. Some were for releasing addiction. Others were for releasing stress, healing. And so I was listening to all of this because back then I was actually really sick. I was bleeding to death, not to be really dramatic, but literally I was bleeding to death. Like I was, I had to get a blood transfusion because my hemoglobin was so low. I really almost died. But compounded with all of these feelings that I had of like not wanting to be here on this earth and just, you know, like not feeling a purpose or a sense in anything. These hypnosis meditation tracks really helped me sometimes come down from being high, but they also helped me kind of feel like there was a purpose, like there was a small inkling that there was something more to the life that I was living in. Well, actually the life that I was existing in, because I wasn't really living, I was just really existing. I was just going through the motions and just allowing things to happen and being a passive bystander instead of really taking an active participation in my life. And so what these hypnosis / meditation tracks did for me was really spark something in me, really kind of light that little fire inside of me. So those were really pivotal to my healing. So tarot has been in my life since 2015. I will never forget when I first went to the Magic Cauldron and got some tarot cards, and I went home. I was drunk and I went home and I sat there and I did a spread, and it was just such a beautiful spread, and I really just was hooked. I was like, oh, you can get messages from the universe, you can get messages from yourself. This is really cool. And so this was also a way to comfort myself throughout my healing journey, because even if I was drunk, even if I didn't feel like there was a purpose to anything, I would pull a card and I would read what that meant, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this means that, like, I would get the Tower card a lot. Duh, things that were built on a shaky foundation were bound to fall at that point. That I would get like the Tower card and I'd be like, oh, this means that this is unsustainable. Like the life that I'm living right now is unsustainable. This unhappiness is unsustainable. That means something better is coming along. And you may think like using tarot for healing, like that really doesn't make sense. But for me, it made so much sense. It again gave me this layer of comfort. In my healing journey, things that were pivotal to me were things that gave me comfort, things that made me interested. Because again, here I am like existing. So if there's something that kind of sparks that light inside of me, like that is what was helping me tremendously. And so finding tarot was beneficial to me on so many levels. I had no idea I would be reading for people that I never met before, but I was reading for people that I knew. And it just didn't really make sense to me at the time that I was reading intuitively. I was just kind of describing what I saw on the cards and what I felt. But this also got me in touch with how I actually felt, because I was numbing so much at the time. And so tarot really helped me feel something. It helped me look into my subconscious. It's this physical representation of what's going on in your subconscious mind. And I really saw that with tarot cards. Reiki really helped to kind of clear up my energy and open up my heart. So when I got my first Reiki session, it felt like a weight had been lifted off of my chest. Well, at first it felt like a heaviness on my chest, and then it felt like a weight had been lifted off of my chest. So I had already been meditating. I had already been using tarot. I had already been following numerology. And when I started doing Reiki, it was right before the time that I had to have my surgery. And when I had my surgery, I'm like, no, now I need to get a certification. Like, I seriously need to do this, because like I'm unhappy with the way things are going and I need to do something. And so not only did I get a Reiki certification, I also decided to get career coached. And so I thought I was going in there to get coached on like what my next career was going to be, but it was really life coaching. I think that any good coaching is pretty much life coaching. And so through the coaching, my coach really helped me uncover this deep intuitive spirit that I already was. And so with that, I used my intuition. I started listening to my intuition a little bit more, and I started doubling down on meditation. And so I took a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, which was highly beneficial for me, because it helped me realize that I didn't need to smoke pot anymore. And smoking pot for me was a numbing mechanism. I'm not saying that it's bad for everybody. I'm just saying that for me, I used it for numbing. And so one of the things that helped me on my healing journey was definitely coaching. Coaching helps you really get some forward momentum. It really helps you look at your life and see like what doesn't fit you anymore. And not only that, but how can we move forward? And so coaching, again, really helped me on my healing journey, really uncover all of these things that I kind of had put on top of myself, and help me kind of sort those out so that I could really start listening to my intuition. So coaching was beneficial for my healing journey. So mindfulness was helpful in my healing journey, because mindfulness helped me be in the present moment. It helped me to stop striving. It helped me to really listen deep down inside. And with my intuition rising, mindfulness was really helpful to kind of ground me in this space, to ground me into, okay, what is actually doable? What is actually going on right now in this moment? And how can you tap into your breath? And I would say the meditation, hypnosis, and mindfulness, even though those are kind of like in the same category, each of them are different in their own way. Whereas hypnosis kind of planted these seeds for me, and meditation helped me to do some forward thinking and to like really believe in myself. Coaching really helped to clear away all the cobwebs of these limiting beliefs that I had, so that I could lead the way for the mindfulness-based stress reduction course. And mindfulness, again, was really helpful in my healing journey, because it helped me really tap into myself, helped me really listen to my soul, because I wasn't listening to my soul. Then came aromatherapy. So aromatherapy has been really helpful on my healing journey. I've used aromatherapy as an ancillary to so many other things, but just even smelling certain essential oils, your olfactory nerve has a connection to the rest of your body, and the olfactory nerve is the nerve that helps you smell. And so this connects to your emotional, your amygdala. So your olfactory nerve connects to so many things in the body. And this is amazing, because the essential oils that I've used and I currently use now are essential oils that really help with this emotional healing. There are essential oils that help, reduce stress, help reduce anxiety, help to increase motivation, help you to focus. And these are all things that you need, executive function things that you need when you're on your healing journey. At least they're things that I needed on my healing journey. Yoga came next. So I started doing yoga midway through my healing journey, and early on I realized that I was only there for the shavasana. I realized that I like the really slow, mindful yogas like hatha and restorative and yin. And so restorative, yin, and hatha yoga are really slower yogas. Restorative is pretty much all on the ground, like you do 3 to 5 poses and you stay there for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes a pose, which seems like a lot, but it's because it's supported. So you're fully supported in restorative yoga. Yin, there's a little bit more movement, there is support. However, yin yoga, you would probably go through maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 poses in a class, depending on your teacher. And these are all typically floor poses. Hatha yoga is a little bit more, I think, what people think of when they think of yoga. There are a lot of standing poses, but you're really slow or more intentional, really listening to the body. And getting in touch with your body when you've been disassociated for a lot of people can be really difficult. And so what yoga did to help me on my healing journey was help me get back into the body, help me really listen and know that there was a felt sense that I could really tap into, because I was tapping into my intuition, I was tapping into my mind, I was tapping into my heart, but I really wasn't tapping into my body. So this movement really helped me to tap in and really helped me to heal on my journey. So then I started taking appreciation walks, these really long 3-4 hour appreciation walks where I'd walk in nature. I just walk and walk and walk and walk. And I would just appreciate everything that I saw. All of the trees, all of the flowers, all of the scenery, all of the nature that was around me. It really started instilling this feeling of abundance inside of me. It really helped me see the miracle in life and see that nature doesn't give a shit. Nature will keep going. Nature exists, even if we as humans try to put lights everywhere, even if we as humans try to put concrete everywhere. Nature does not care. It'll come up through the cracks. It'll come up because nature is ever expanding. We are ever expanding. And this really helped me on my healing journey to get a different perspective. Also, walking and thinking at the same time is so beneficial. Anytime you can do any kind of movement, this is also really helpful for you on your healing journey and your spiritual journey. It really helps to widen your perspective. It really helps you to, come up with new answers that you maybe weren't aware that you needed to come up with, or perspectives that you already had inside of you that really needed to come out so that you could really get some clarity in your life. And I know this is something that a lot of people do to help them heal, but for me it was particularly difficult to go back to therapy because I had a bad therapist before who was actually jailed. And this therapist really crossed some boundaries. And at that point I was still working through codependency that I didn't realize the boundaries were being crossed right away, but it was really hard for me to go back to therapy. So if you have had a bad therapist and you're like, I don't want to do therapy, not everybody is meant for therapy, but also not every therapist is meant for you. Sometimes we have to really keep looking if that's something that we really wanted to do, but therapy really helped me process these emotions, process these thoughts, process these feelings, and really was an unbiased way to really help me on my healing journey, especially if you have a really cool therapist who does therapy plus yoga. My therapist led group therapy yoga, and it was really great because we would get together every couple of weeks, we would do yoga, and then we would talk about what came up. And when you move your body, when you're doing this body movement, and then it brings stuff up emotionally, it's really great to have somebody who is a professional to be able to talk to about that. And in a group setting, it helps you realize that you're not alone in your healing journey. Then came the greatest gift I've ever had in my life up to this point, which is conscious connected breathing. So breath work has been instrumental to me on my healing journey, because up to this point I had already done a lot of stuff. I tried a lot of things and I found what worked for me. Again, I'm just including the things that have worked for me. So I found all these things that worked for me and I'm like, I've healed a lot of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I was good, but I didn't realize that I was still holding on to a lot of shit. And so the first time I did breath work was transformative or integrative breath work. And that type of breath work really helped me to realize the reason that I'm here. Like, it is the reason that I'm sitting here with you right now. And it's the reason that I went to go learn to be a breathwork teacher, because I got the message very, very clear in that breathwork session that I was supposed to do this. And so for some people, breathwork can bring all kinds of emotions up. For me, that breathwork session was transformative, literally transformative. It really changed my life. In that breathwork session, I was able to feel my dad, who had passed away when I was 11. I was able to feel my grandparents, who had all passed away. I was able to feel God, source, the universe, whatever it is that you call it, like that higher power. I was able to feel nothing and everything. I was able to be there while I also wasn't there. I was in, I was out, I was up, I was down. I was everything. The closest word that I can get to that is enlightenment, but I feel like that even cheapens the experience that I had. It was an out-of-body experience that was better than any drug I've ever done in my life. And so much so that I got the message that I am supposed to be doing this. If you want to hear the story, I'll link the video up here somewhere or in the description box below. But that breathwork session led me to learn to teach breathwork. So I went to go learn to teach conscious connected breathing. Conscious connected breathing is different than transformative breathing in the sense that you're doing 2 breaths in, 1 breath out with conscious connected breathing, and with integrative breath, you're doing a full breath in, a full breath out. And I guess the reasons behind it is a little bit different too. But when I went to go learn conscious connected breathing, I realized that this was more of an emotional healing breath work, which again, my journey brought me to that space of learning conscious connected breathing to really get out all of these deep emotions. And so there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of emotional releasing that happened in that teacher training, that I realized that I had to combine tarot with it, I had to combine Reiki with it, and I had to let people pick their own music. I have used conscious connected breathing so many times since then, and it has been pivotal to help me kind of peel these layers back, peel layers back of abusive relationships, peel layers back of my own self-worth, peel layers back of all these things that I'm carrying around with me that aren't even mine to begin with, that I didn't even know I was carrying. It helps me get a perspective on things. It helps me understand people a little bit better. Most importantly, it helps me heal, and helps me heal on a level that nothing else has ever helped me heal. And so conscious connected breathing has been pivotal to my trauma healing, to my spiritual journey. It's been pivotal to almost everything that I do. And when I thought that I couldn't find another tool to replace conscious connected breathing, not that anything ever will, I found morning pages. So morning pages is where you write 3 pages of whatever comes to your mind. You just write. And there's no censor. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to be anything miraculous. It's not. It's just a stream of consciousness writing. It's almost like automatic writing, except that with automatic writing, you don't take your pen off the paper and you just write. And it's like sometimes you can channel through automatic writing. But I feel like morning pages is a bit different, because sometimes there is a to-do list. Often there is a to-do list in my morning pages. Often in my morning pages, there's planning too. And so what happens in morning pages is you write about things so much that your mind is like, well, when are we going to do this? When are we going to take action on this? And so morning pages paves the way for you to really change your life. And I've used morning pages ever since August of 2020. And I probably have missed like a handful of days, anywhere from 5 to 10 days. And I feel like 10 is too much. I don't feel like I've missed that many days. But morning pages has been really pivotal to my healing. It's been really pivotal to my spiritual journey. It's also been really pivotal to my career and what I've done as a business owner. So morning pages helps me come up with video ideas. It helped me come up with a quiz. It helped me come up with the Conscious Breath Connection course. It helped me come up with the chakra balancing breathwork journey. It helped me come up with ways of how I can offer services to clients here in the Breathe, Connect, Thrive studio. It helps me tremendously. It helps me so much. It helps me process my feelings. It's like a diary, feelings processor. It's like a DBT journal. It's like a Morning pages is like everything. It's like a brain tap. It's like a processing center. It's like an idea center. It's like a planning center. It's like an emotional healing center. Morning pages has been pivotal to my life since I've been doing them. They've been so helpful. I don't know that I'll ever stop doing morning pages. I think that I will probably do morning pages till the day that I die, because it is that helpful. It was helpful when my mom died. It was helpful when my mom was dying. Even though I can only do like 5 or 10 minutes, like I was still like go there and just write and just get stuff out, because you're carrying so much around you that, especially when you're healing. So you have so much in your head, you have so much in your heart, and some of this stuff you don't even know what it is. So if you can just start writing, even if you write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, something will eventually come true. And sometimes you don't even know, like it's just big letters of junk that's inside of you: anger, pain, fear, frustration. But there's a lot of other things that are inside of you too. And a lot of these things we're carrying around and we feel like that's what we are. Like we feel like our feelings is what we are, but that's not who you are. Your feelings matter, but your feelings aren't what defines you. You are so much more inside. And when you start writing all of this crap out, when you start getting all of this crap out in breath work and all of these things, then you really are left with yourself. And you really carry yourself along with you everywhere you go. So watching the sunset, oh my God, this is one of the most healing things that you can do. When you watch the sunset, really feel into what it feels like to let all of these old parts of you go. And that is so, so comforting when you watch the sunset, when you realize that life is going to keep going. What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do in this moment? And just really take that in. Take in the magnificence that you don't always get to watch the sunset. I mean, you could go every day, but each sunset is different. And it's not your job to put the sun down. It really isn't your job. There's so many things that are outside of you that are beyond your control. The only thing that you can control is your breath and the next step you're going to make. And really watching the sunset helps you put things into perspective. At least it does for me. So watching the sunset has been really helpful and healing for me. Goodbye letters have been life-changing for me too. So goodbye letters are where you write goodbye to a person, place, or thing that no longer suits you, no longer fits you, or somebody or something that was hurtful for you. But since I did my breathwork teacher training, I learned a new way of writing goodbye letters. This new way of writing a goodbye letter, you flip it on the back side and you write the letter back from that person, place, or thing to you, telling you all the things that you will probably never hear, but that you should hear, that you need to hear. And it really helps to close the loop. But what I've been doing lately is, especially if we're saying goodbye to parts of ourselves, on the backside of that, say hello to your new self, and really future visioning like what the new self looks like, what the new self does, and really allowing that idea to kind of form for you. You see, inside of us, we already have the subconscious knowledge, and we already have intuition, and we're all intuitive. And our intuition holds so much wisdom. We have access to this never-ending well of wisdom that is always there, that knows who you are, that knows why you do the things that you do, that does not judge you one bit. And this internal well of wisdom is always available to you. Can we hear it all the time? No, especially not when we're like so early into our healing journey. But the more you can tap into this internal well of wisdom, whether that's through meditation, through Reiki, through breathwork, through tarot, through any of these things that I mentioned before, once you tap into that, you can't untap into that. You know that it's always there. And so sometimes we get disconnected from it, and that's okay. That's what these tools are for, to help bring you back. So the tools that I use now in my healing journey, now that I've become a breathwork teacher, a Reiki master, an aromatherapist, a restorative yoga teacher, a tarot reader, now that I've become all these things where I can really help people, what I do in my personal practice is morning pages. So almost every single morning I do morning pages without fail. Again, like I said before, I don't think I'll ever stop doing morning pages. Morning pages are really this place where I can get all this stuff out, but also helps me plan, helps me really understand like how I want to move forward, and helps me make the steps to do that. It's really helpful. Breath work. I do that probably 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what I have going on. Sometimes I do it once a week, but pretty much it's a weekly thing. Sometimes I cry in breath work, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get these feelings out. Sometimes these feelings just need a space to breathe. Sometimes I just need to breathe. I do breath work on a regular basis. I did breath work this morning. Sometimes I use music, sometimes I use meditation with it. So meditation is also one of the things that I do. I do a silent meditation, but I also do guided meditation as well. Restorative yoga. I do that anytime I teach a restorative yoga class, but I also do that in my own personal practice too. Appreciation walks. Oh my God, I can't do without them. I'll lump that in with my watching the sunsets. That's just being in nature, and so I really love that. And tarot. Use tarot almost every day with morning pages. So since my mom died, I started pulling a card from the tarot for mom's guidance, and I also pull a card from the tarot for my dad, for dad's guidance. So these are the 5 things I do on a regular basis to help me on my healing journey. But I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these healing tools will you use to help you on your healing or spiritual journey? Let me know in the comments below. And if I didn't mention something, please leave it in the comments below. Comments really help the channel grow, but also they help other people really feel into what is right for them. And also it helps people feel like they're not alone. So I really love creating videos on breathwork and tarot and journaling to help you on your healing and spiritual journey. So if you love these videos, you can click on the subscribe button so that you can get more of these videos, but you can also watch this playlist here. I'll be back next week with your monthly tarot reading, but I hope that this video resonated for you. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.